All right. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, good morning, whichever part of the world that you're in. Listen, I just started playing this game, Hell Let Loose, about 2 weeks ago. It's an excellent combat game. It takes place in World War II. Um, it's all multiplayer, so on and so forth. Very good action. The one thing I noticed is that they've sometimes you get some guys that work the artillery very well. Sometimes you get the guys that don't work the artillery at all. Um, Basically, I wanted to come up with a system that we use in ARMA 3 that would probably help out with the artillery and Hell Let Loose to get rounds downrange faster. Now, if in order for you to put down a marker in Hell Let Loose on the artillery, so on, you either have to be a section leader or you have to be an officer. Okay, so like I said, a section leader or officer. So say you're a section leader out there and you're trying to mark a target where you have to expose yourself. You have to stand up with your binoculars and mark the target. Well, guess what? You are most likely going to die because you could be under fire, or a sniper's out there, or somebody's going to pop your head off, and that's the end of you. And now your men are totally screwed. So another way of doing it, if you know your location, excuse me, if you know your location, instead of marking a target, why not just radio the grid coordinates back to the artillery guys? So you're going to say, well, grid coordinates? What grid coordinates? You have Hell Let Loose. You only have 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 blocks that you have to worry about. That's widthwise, lengthwise, so on and so forth. Then you have these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, and then you have these top letters, A, B, C, all the way to J. Now, I'm looking at 4, and here is 4E. Now, say there is a tank in 4E, so I say, okay, artillery guys, there is a tank in 4E. Well, those artillery guys are not, and like I said, you're pinned down, you cannot mark it with your binoculars, but you're just letting the artillery guys know that there is a tank in 4E. Well, military maps, so on and so forth, each one of these squares is 1,000 meters. That means the artillery guys are trying to shoot at something that's in an area of 3,000 feet. That's a huge area to be shooting at. So basically what I did, because you only have side numbers, I'm going to totally forget about the the letters on top, because I'm just going to be worrying about this number and the number of blocks. So, for an example, I have a couple things set up here. Now, first, if you've never read a map, the proper way to read a map is you always do the eastings first and the northings second. So eastings first and then the northings second. You'll see that I have some targets down. I have artillery, I have a tank, and I have troops. And I've already put the grid cords of the troops, the tank, and the artillery. So to make it easier, for the first one with the tank, it's dead center of the 5th square. So all the person has to do is tell me, okay, we have a tank at 3. Here's 3. 5, the second number. And then you count the blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your first two numbers, 3 and then 5, 3 and then the 5 blocks. Now, in order to get the last 2 digits, you need to do your eastings and you need to do your northings. So the tank is dead center. So then all you have to do is count over. And the lines are there, which is good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here it is. You don't even have to, these numbers are not going to be here. You just count the lines. So eastings, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the grid coordinate for that tank is 3, the number 3 on the side. The block, which is 5 blocks. The 5th block. And the last 2 digits are your eastings, which is the number 5. You counted over 5 spots. And then you went up to the tank, which is 5 spots. Looking at the troops, we're still in the same block. We're still in the third, 3, and then block 5. And then you're counting over 0, 1, 2, 3. That's your eastings. And then northings. You can either use 8 or 9. I would use 8 because it looks like it's more closer to 8. Because 9's up here, and you're more likely to get a lot more hits if you're shooting at 8. But you can move around. Just don't fire on the same spot. When you're on the gun, traverse your gun left or right just a little bit, just to spread the rounds out. You have your artillery section. Your artillery's down here. So we're still number 3. I've counted 5 blocks over, so I've got the 3, 5. And then now I'm going to do my eastings, which is 8, right? Here's the number 8. I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then up 2. So the artillery location would be 3, 5, 8, 2. We have a radio tower here. Now this is 3. It's in the 4th block. So let me just get my little thing here. Paintbrush, there we go. So this tower right here, we're still in the 3 grid area. I've counted over 4 blocks. So this tower, the first 2 digits will be 3, 4. And then I'm visualizing, so here's 0, 1, 2. Okay, so the second one will be 2. Because look, here's the 2. It lines up with the tower. Boop. And then 9. This is the northings. Remember, northings that's the northings. This is the eastings. So here's the number 9 grid. So, and then we got 2 down here. That's your eastings. So that's your eastings. The 4 is your block, how many blocks you've counted over left or right. And then the side, this is the side numbers. Side numbers. This is the side. This is the block that we're in, which is number 4. Then you have your eastings, which we went over 1, 2, and then we went up 9 to get to that tower. So the 4-digit grid reference on that tower is 3, 4, 2, 9. All you have to do is tell the artillery guy, like I said, hopefully you can put down a marker where that target is or where you want to shoot at with the description, and he can just simply mark it and then put rounds downrange, so you don't have to stick your head up and get your head shot off. Let's do another one. Let's look at this plane here. Right? This plane here. Okay, so now we're in 4. So we know the first number is 4. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're at the 5th block over. And now what we have to do is just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be 9. And then we want to do our northings. 1, 2, 3, 3. So that is the grid reference, the 4-digit grid reference for that aircraft. Number 4 on the side, 5 blocks over. And then you're gonna then the 9 is the eastings. And then the 3 is your northings. And that's all you have to do is just tell the guy, okay, we got some enemy troops at the down glider at 4, 5, 9, 3, requesting 3 rounds fire for effect or whatever amount of rounds you want. And then they can adjust, you know, they can adjust the rounds. So that way, like I said, you can mark targets or call in targets without having to getting your head shot off. So I think this will work. Like I said, this will get rounds downrange much faster, a lot faster, simply by using a simple grid system to call in the rounds. The guy in the guns will mark the targets and then fire, and then help us clear out the bad guys. So this is just a quick little video. I hope you learned something. ARMA 3, just to let you know, ARMA 3, when you zoom in, same thing. It's each square is 1,000 meters, but they have like, the further you zoom in, you can do you basically do 8-digit grid coordinates. So say if this is on ARMA 3 map 126, and this is 162. Now that would be this, basically this would be the 6-digit grid coordinates. So 126, because over here you have like 125, and then 124. So let's say we have a tank right here. So basically the guys would be zooming in, and okay, so grid coordinate 1263, because remember you do the eastings first and then the northings. So the bottom number is first, 126, so that would be 1263, and then 1622 would be the location of that tank. So I held it loose because the maps are not as detailed or marked out like ARMA 3. We can use this system. 4 being this number, 5, this will be the block, and then your eastings, which would be 9, because this is where we're shooting at over here, and then your northings. So 9 and then 3 would be where that downed aircraft is, that glider. So this is your eastings right here. That's 9, and then the number 3 represents your northings. So side number 4, 5th block, eastings, you're at 9, and then you count up 1, 2, 3. And 4, 5, 9, 3. That's all you have to do is tell the artillery guys that they'll mark the target, and then they'll put rounds downrange when they have the distance and the mills set up correctly. So I hope this video helped, and good luck to you, and see you on the battlefield.